Oh, his mom hated me. Oh, just want to laugh. I get in trouble. Like who? No. Yeah, my mom don't. Oh, where are you at? Betty, comb your hair. It was 7 hours ago when I combed your hair. Obviously not, you cooked me. It's been, it's like, I don't even know if I can do that. Go. What time do I know? Where were you 7 this morning? Exactly. I was in the shower. 10 hours ago. That'd be 9 hours ago. No, it'd be 12 hours ago. I said.
Hello, my name is Brandon Akiri, and on behalf of the U.S. government class, I would like to welcome you in the 2016 School Board Candidate Reform. Tonight's forum will be relatively informal, but we hope it will help inform you about the candidates and how they stand on the issues facing Lakeview. The U.S. government class has collected questions from students, parents, and staff. Once we get to the questions, we will then answer the questions in rotating order. There will be no opportunity for rebuttals. There will also be no open microphone for the audience to ask questions. If you have specific questions, the candidates will remain here after the closing comments are made.
My name is Trinity Kirkhoff, and we would like to start off with a three-part opening statement by the candidates. First, if the candidates would introduce themselves, tell us why they have chosen to run, and how they have shown their commitment to the school in the past. Mr. Devereaux, we will begin with you.
Okay, well, I'm a graduate of Iowa High School. My children all graduated from Iowa. My youngest daughter just graduated 3 years ago. I guess everyone, including myself, got a very good education. My wife, Kathy, let her go. She graduated from Marshall, but that's okay. I guess I always wanted to get back to the school. I worked here for a few years and saw how great of a place it was, and just wanted to get back to them.
Hi, my name's Alan Ruby. I have lived in Cottonwood now for 21 years. Yeah, 21 years. I have 3 kids that have gone through or are currently attending the district, and it's been a great place for our kids to get an education. It's been a great place for them to grow up. I'm running for board. I've served on the board since I was elected first in 2009, so I've served for 7 years now, and I'm running for re-election. So I just enjoy the experience of working with the school district, understanding how things run and helping to make the decisions and policies that help provide a great education for our students.
And I'm Wendy Fisher. I too am a graduate of Cottonwood. I've lived here my entire life. I have 3 children, one that did graduate a couple years ago and 2 that are still in school. And I just would really like to become a part of learning more about what our school has to offer, and just to see what I could do to help students and teachers achieve whatever goals they might have.
On? Good. Okay. My name is Dan Malachi. I've lived in Cottonwood about 20 years. I have 3 kids and a lovely wife. I'm sure most of you know Carter, who's not smiling. I've been on city council for the last 10 years. Really enjoyed that, working with city issues, things like that. the last 3 years, want to be more involved in the school, that our kids are becoming older and getting more involved in the school. I just want to get a better knowledge of the school, how it works, and the functions, things like that.
My name is Jason Wadji. I've lived here all my life. I was the first graduating class of the combined districts. I'm not sure if we call ourselves Lakeview then or not. I've got 6 kids that go to the district. And part of the reason why I enjoy serving on the board, I've served since '09, is I like giving back to the community. The community's given me so much. If you don't participate in help or in forming policy and stuff and the atmosphere of the school, then you get people, some people, you know, if the good people don't run, sometimes you get people who probably aren't the best to be on the school board. So I feel I'm a good person to be on the school board.
The question I have will begin with Mrs. Fisher. Mrs. Fisher, if elected, what would be your 3 top priorities and why?
3 top priorities. I actually really do not have any priorities. I just really want to know more about what the school does. I want to learn more about policies. I want to make sure that we're doing things for kids to get a good education, and that we do have top-notch teachers and coaches, and that everything is just run as smoothly as it can. And I would just really like to be a part of our school system.
Three reasons, I guess, my top priorities would probably be to continue to support the administration, the superintendent, the principal, the teachers, coaching staff. Make sure that we're spending the money wisely, the taxes. We have a beautiful school, beautiful facilities. I think they're doing a good job now, but just to maintain that. And I guess just to give back to everything, to the community and back to the school.
3 reasons why I enjoy being on the board. I like to see our school, when I read in the paper, and our school has achieved something, whether it be students, high scores in certain testing, where we sit on the state. To me, another one is community investment. I want to make sure that we're using every dollar that we get from the community in an effective way, and we're not wasting money on stuff that doesn't matter, doesn't count, doesn't help the students learn. And also another thing that importantly is our safe student environment at the school.
I guess I was reading over the handbook and it says, equip each student with the tools for life. I guess that would be the top priority, to give every student the best available teachers, the best available building, the best available technology. I guess also funding is always important. And I guess third thing would be the building and the grounds. I guess sometimes when I worked here, I was very proud of it. And I guess right now, maybe I'm not so proud of it. So I guess that would be my third priority.
Yeah, I'm going to have very similar answers to the rest of the panel. I think we're all very interested in producing the best prepared, well-rounded students and citizens that we can produce. We do that through the technology where we are fortunate enough to be able to offer to our students. We do that through the great people we have. So I would make it a priority to continue to support the people from all the staff, teachers, support staff, coaches, administrators, everybody involved in the school that help give our students the excellent experience that they have and the opportunities that they have to get a good education. And the other priority that we always have to keep an eye on is making sure that we make the best use of the budget we have at our disposal. It's highly regulated. It's difficult to understand how some of the money flows through the school systems, and continuing to make sure that we do the most with what we have as far as budget to continue to support those students.
My name is Noah Schmidt, and the question I have will begin with Mr. Gruby. Mr. Gruby, what do you think will be the biggest opportunity or challenge facing Lakeview today?
We have a lot of opportunities. I think the biggest one is the position we're in with the awesome facility we have, with the superb staff we have, teachers, administrators, support staff. So our biggest opportunity is just the fact that we are so well set up to provide a great education for everyone for years to come. I think our results in the past have supported that, and I don't see any reason why that can't continue.
I too agree with Al. With the school that we do have, we have lots of opportunities with the size our school is, and with our 3 gyms now and our outside facilities, we have great opportunity to hold some bigger events, sporting events, and our technology with everybody getting on board with iPads and all of that too. We just have room to grow.
I'd have to agree with the staff, excellent staff. I think that's a great opportunity that we have to maintain. Great school and technology. I think some of the bigger challenges coming up will be the continued funding and recruitment, maybe the retention of the staff we have, our future teachers. As people leave and retirements come up, shortage of teachers, things like that.
I think our most current challenge is the football game tomorrow night, 4:30. That's the first thing came to my mind. One of the biggest, not really a challenge, and it could be an opportunity, is keeping our enrollment up. We need to keep kids wanting to go to Lakeview. With open enrollment, it's very easy for them to leave the district for whatever reason. And it's good to try and entice students to come to our district too. We have all the opportunities of different classes we offer, a lot of different sports, a lot of different extracurricular activities, that involve more intellectual stuff. So that's my answer.
I guess the challenge I see is meeting the testing requirements that, I don't know much about it, but some of the incumbent folks, but it seems like that's a moving target, and that's got to be very difficult for the staff, the teachers, the administration to meet those goals. And I guess the biggest opportunity is, our building. I was part of the 2 planning committees, the original one that built this part, and then the second one that built the new building. And I think we've got built into there enough space so that we can have some growth. And I think with open enrollment, I think it's a very good opportunity for those new schools.
My name is Ashley Mullen, and the question I have will begin with Mr. Dan Lawaji. Mr. Lawaji, what do you believe to be the role of the school board in the extracurricular programs here at Lakeview, and how does this belief fit with our district's vision?
I think the role of the school board is probably more to support administration, athletic director, and those people, not so much dictate what the coaches are doing. I think that activities committee probably has more say in that. The board members on the activities committee versus the board as a whole. So I think it's more of a support role. If there's issues that the community has, maybe bring those to Mr. Hanson, Mr. Hoffman.
You're you're going to get a lot of similar answers on this question, I think. The role of the board is oversight. The board does not make the day-to-day decisions on extracurricular activities. That's the activities committee, the administration's job. We're just there for guidance, I guess.
I guess the board has the final say in everything. And I guess they get input from committees and staff. But I guess they have the final say. So they have to make good decisions. They have to, I guess, just like they have the final say. So
Yeah, again, very similar answers. I think the role of the board is really our job starts by hiring great administration, which we're fortunate to have here at Lakeview, and then to support their decisions and recommendations as far as any extracurricular advisors and coaches and all the support staff that are involved in the extracurriculars. Make sure that the policies we have are supportive of a positive experience for our teams and our clubs. Make sure that we have the tools in place to build successful programs at all levels. Because really, at the end of the day, our extracurriculars need to be an extension of the school day, and it's part of that educational experience, and it's a very important part of that experience. It teaches skills that you can't get in an everyday classroom. So we need to make sure that those policies support that. And then the last role I think the board has is just to listen. Listen to concerns from all parties, be it community members, parents. Listen to the concerns that the coaches might bring forward. Listen to the concerns that administration brings forward, and then apply the policies as needed to address those concerns.
Not much left on that one. We will just be the supporting administration and being the sounding board and listening to concerns and just seeing that everything that can be done is done to address those concerns.
My name is Ray Olson, and the question I have will begin with Mr. Ducey Nawaji. Mr. Nawaji, one of the main responsibilities of a school board is to form policies for the district. Which current district policy would you like to change, review, or see added?
That's a good one. Our policies are all perfect. No policy is perfect. We go through them every year. We go through a series of policies every year. We're constantly updating, changing language. I can't think of one policy right now that I would change off the top of my head. I do know that is one of the most challenging and enjoyable parts of being on the school board. It's not too fun to read through them all, but it is fun to be able to help change and shape the policy.
Riley, are you talking like policy in the handbook?
That's what I assume he was talking about.
Okay, that's what I thought. So yes, I found it interesting. There's 47 pages to that thing, and I think there's probably some addendums and other stuff. And it's right at the end it says everything can be changed with input from the community, administration, and students, I believe. So I think, Jason, I can't think of anything that needs to be changed right offhand, but everything is subject to change, so things could change constantly. So
Yeah, I mean, a lot of work goes into the policy side of what the school board does. We review dozens updates. A lot of the updates that we have to make are legislative requirements. Laws change, so we have to adapt our policies to reflect those laws. From a handbook perspective, that's probably the most visible collection of policies that affect students directly. And I think the last 2 or 3 years, we've actually been fortunate enough to have groups of students take the initiative to come in and present to the board and try and influence that policy, and nothing makes me happier than to see that happen, that we have groups of students that are interested enough and care enough to get involved. And to me, that's the most important part, that we have the opportunity to listen to that and take that input into consideration as we consider those policy changes. So I think that's the greatest part of our policy job is listening and impacting changes when required.
That's one area that I'm going to need to learn more on. I work for an insurance company, so I read policy forms all the time. So I'm always willing to listen and see what changes can be done. I know that a lot of the policies are topics at our house. Having 2 daughters, the dress code has always been a topic at our house, and I know that was recently revamped. And with my one daughter that talks so much that's already graduated, the topics aren't as vocal anymore, so I haven't heard that one much, but I find it just very interesting to learn about all the policies that our school does have.
Yeah, I reviewed several of the policies trying to get ready for tonight, and there's several. I think it's good if the board reviews them yearly. I'm not a big believer in a lot of policies. I think we can get too cumbersome, but if they're reviewed, a lot of them are state law, like Mr. Gruby said, so those don't be changed. But I think it's also good if 2 kids are involved. If that's a class project or just a concern, I think it's good for you guys to bring it up because it affects you probably more than anybody.
Noah Jepson, and the question I have will begin with Mr. Devereaux. Mr. Devereaux, people say learning is a lifelong process. What do you do to keep your education growing or fresh? What do you do to keep your education growing or fresh?
Well, I read a lot of farm magazines. I don't read Shakespeare, I guess. As a farmer, I have to refresh with chemicals. You have to take refresher courses. There's, I think the school board, as board members, they have to go to two are required, the 3rd and 4th one, meetings that to help them become better board members. But I guess basically what I do myself is just reading stuff that I enjoy.
Yeah, very similar. I do a lot of reading in direct relation to the school board. We are provided with a lot of material from the School Board Association that talks about school policy issues, challenges other districts are facing. I really pay attention to the ones that are impacting similar sized districts to ours. Just as an overall general education, I'm always trying to learn new technology. I'm fortunate enough to work in the technology field for my day job, and that allows me to stay educated on the latest trends and some of the technologies and how those might be able to be applied to the educational experience that we have here at Lakeview. So it's a lot of reading and absorbing the world around me.
Working for an insurance company, every day you learn something new because you take lots of phone calls wondering about coverage questions, and there are a lot of changes that are done when every policy is up for review to see rate changes and all of that. So every day there's something new. I have to read new forms all the time, and we we are paperless too, so we are on the computer constantly as well.
Also with my job, we have several hours a year of continuing education just to keep fresh on different topics. You've heard of City Council, yearly meeting, publications, trainings. I think there's a lot of, those are all formal trainings, but I think there's a lot of non-formal things. Just by listening and observing what's going on around, things like that are great educational tools also.
I think I've learned more algebra, geometry, and trigonometry in the last few years helping my kids do homework than I ever learned in high school. A lot of this stuff has been said before. I do a lot of reading. MSBA, School Board Association, puts out a lot of reading material, legislative updates from the state, go to conferences. I learn a lot by listening to what other people have to say about whatever, students, teachers, parents. I think when you're a school board member, you got to be willing to do a lot of listening and spend a little more time than you might otherwise want to listening to people who have concerns, because that's what you're there for.
My name is Trista Schuler, and the question I will start with Ms. Fisher. Mrs. Fisher, do you think the district adequately represents the communities of Cottonwood and Wood Lake? Why or why not?
Absolutely. We have a great school. We are known all over. We have a very smart school. A lot of when we are our basketball teams and our softball teams get high awards for their grades. And wherever you go and you'll say, where are you from, and they'll ask you your school, and a lot of people know that. They know it isn't far to Cottonwood. And we get a lot of kids that love our facilities, and when we hold LBA tournaments and that, everybody is just excited to be here and think of what a great setup that we do have, and that's just going to get better.
I think the school's represented fairly well, at least as far as the school board. I believe there's 2 members from Wood Lake, and the rest are from Cottonwood, or in the country. Yeah, I think that's a good representation of the school. I think students do a good job of representing the school. Like Ms. Fisher said, in athletics, academics, and just being good kids when you're at other schools or at other events.
I think they're represented fairly well. I know I have a lot of friends that are from the lake, even though I'm from Cottonwood. A lot of families over there. Sister moved over there. I think as a school board, we're always conscious of that too when we're making decisions. When we're trying to, not to leave anybody out. Sometimes it gets easy to do when you just. A lot of us think of us as just one big community, and there's still a lot of people out there who, want to keep their identity, their community a little bit separate, but that keeps growing
up. When the school had 2 referendums, a lot of that committee was Wood Lake people. I'm sure it was hard for them originally to have to give up their school. It was demolished and not to be replaced. They've always been very supportive of the committees. There's 25 people, and there will be at least 12 of them, or half, will be coming from Wood Lake. And the Cottonwood community has been very supportive too of everything. So yeah, it's we're all well represented.
Yeah, all I can do is echo what everyone else has said. I think if the communities didn't feel like they were well represented by the school and the board, we would not have the overwhelming support that we've had when we have gone and asked for the building referendum, as Mr. Devereaux said. I think that the facilities we're able to have here are a direct reflection of how well represented our communities feel.
My name is Kayla Fisher, and the question I have will begin with Mr. Gruby. Mr. Gruby, what are your thoughts about standardized testing? Do you believe the tests give a clear picture of how Lakeview students are progressing?
Standardized testing, yeah. I do believe standardized testing has a valuable place in schools and does serve a purpose. I can't say that I completely agree that the way things are measured adequately reflects the true progress our students are making. When you measure one third grade class against the next third grade class against the next third grade class, just in a small community like this, just the differences in demographics between those small samples of people can skew results up or down one way or the other and not really represent the fact that third grade class that took the test this year, if they took it next year as fourth graders, how would they really do? Are they growing? Are they improving? And we don't have the opportunity to see that until that group gets all the way to eighth grade. And by then things have progressed down the road so far that you may not be able to have as positive an influence as you want to. So I definitely think there could be some tweaks to the system, but I do overall think the standardized testing does have some value, and it really has allowed us to focus our curriculum on making sure that the standards that kids are expected to know as they're getting ready for college are being addressed.
For me, on the parent side, I do like to look at those and see what area my child might need a little extra help in and what area that he or she may excel in. And I don't know exactly what the school looks at them for, but it does seem like Lakeview does fairly well and are ranked fairly high in that, which does let us know that everybody is on track. And I hope that those that maybe don't get those higher scores, then they aren't left behind, and that more is done then to help them, so the next time they take those tests, that maybe those test scores are a little bit higher.
I, as a parent, also like the standardized testing to see where my children fit or how they're doing. But I think it's only one tool. I think it's hard to have kind of a one-size-fits-all for every class, every school. And I don't know if it's very accurate to tie, I believe a lot of times you tie funding to it also. There's just so many different variables. I think it's a tool, but not necessarily the only tool. Schools should be forced to take.
A lot of times too much emphasis is put on, that the teachers will teach for the test because they have to, because they want their students to perform. We're not putting out robots. I mean, our kids all have different attitudes, different personalities. And our kids need skill sets that will keep them in the community too. We don't want our kids to all leave and go work a office job in cities or whatever. We want them to stick around here, learn a trade. I mean, some kids are very good with their hands, and why would force them? I shouldn't say force them, but exclude trades and technical training and stuff like that is kind of a mistake. So that's fine.
I guess I heard once that data is data. I mean, numbers don't lie. They have to give you a way to measure things, and that's what these tests do. You have to be able to have somebody good enough to interpret this data to make sense of it. So, you gotta do it. You gotta have something to measure by. And sometimes I think our school system, our school year starts early because the thought was, okay, we're gonna get kids in class. They're gonna be really sharp, ready to take these tests. I don't know if that data showed that, but the state's trying, the school district's trying.
My name is Megan Gall, and the question I have will begin with Mr. Dan Lawaji. Mr. Lawaji, knowing that the students are the product of Lakeview and looking at today's kindergarten class, what is your hope for their experience by 2028 when they will graduate?
Your experience with me? Why would they have a good experience with just our overall education. I think the school board administration has done a great job with allowing kids to grow as far as college classes, summer electives, and things as you guys get older into high school. Athletically, there's a lot of opportunities here, even with the co-ops that we have in Marshall, with swimming, wrestling, gymnastics. I think it would continue to grow. The school board, the staff, the administration, I think we should have a great experience.
I happen to have a kindergarten administrator. They make a lot of similar answers. I hope that we can continue to offer all the extracurricular we do, and maybe even bring in some more stuff. I don't know what it is yet. We're not looking at it. But, a couple years ago, the school trap was not on our radar either, and all of a sudden it was there, and that's taken off huge. So I know I'll be tired of helping with homework in 18 years, 12 years, but yeah.
I hope their experience is a good one. I hope when I was in school, or shortly before, we had fellows or gentlemen who went on to serve in the legislature. We've had national merit honors students. I'm hoping more than just one or two of these kindergartners by the time they graduate. I'm hoping we can get maybe a handful, or I'm expecting great things.
Yeah, my hope for the class of 2028 and beyond is we continue to evolve our educational landscape to fit into the 21st century. We have started taking those steps with the technology. We're starting to integrate into our classrooms. At this point, we're still using 20th century teaching methods, using those 21st century tools. You'll see those teaching methods continue to evolve in the next very short term. Things are rapidly changing. You'll see some new models develop that utilize that technology and fit into the way a 21st century mind works. And I'm just excited for that opportunity to see how different the educational experience looks 12 years from now. I know how different it looks now from when my first child started school, and the rate of change is only going to keep increasing.
I want every kindergarten to be very successful, but not only do I want them to be successful, I want them to be kind, and I want them to be respectful, and that's just very important. You get very far in life if you are a kind, respectful person. So with that, you would be successful too. Thank you.
Elsie Taylor, and beginning with Jason Malaji, I would like to give each of you an opportunity to give a closing statement in regard to yourself and the school or position you are seeking.
Well, I've been a member of this community all my life. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Hopefully there's nowhere else my kids would rather be. I guess the reason I run and I enjoy, and I'm on the school board, and the reason why I do it is because I enjoy giving back to the community. I don't do it for the attention, I don't do it for the money, except enough money. I just like to give back to the community. That's what I do so much.
I had a really good thought there. Experience, okay. Well, I guess basically I'd like to give back to the school. I'd like to see it better. If there's any way possible that it can be better. Wish I could think of what I was going to say. But we'll just leave it. Oh, I remember. I'm a better listener than a talker, so I think being positive. I could listen to different viewpoints and maybe make some kind of a difference in the board or help them guide them on their way.
My experience on the school board, and I said this in the paper this week, has been the most rewarding experience of my professional career, and I would just like to continue to work and help influence those policies and make this the greatest school that it can possibly be. We turn out some great graduates here that go on to do great things both in our communities and those who choose to go elsewhere. They're well prepared, and to have a small part in that is the greatest reward.
I too just want to give back more to the community because the community has given me so much since I have lived in Cottonwood my entire life. I really don't want to change anything. I just really want to learn more about our school, how it is run, what we can maybe do to make things better. I'd like to be involved with our teachers. I'd like to hear what our teachers have to say about Lakeview and what changes they would like to maybe see, maybe what we aren't doing right. And I'm a very good listener. And one thing that I know our IT people don't like about me at North Star is that I like to have all the facts. I like to know why things are run the way that they are run. And if I might not agree with how it is run, you know, I want all sides of it, and I want to be able to state my opinion too, and I like to be heard, and then I like to come to a common ground that we can all agree on to make things work good.
I just want to do my part in making this a better school than it already is. Help with communication between the community, students, and the school board administration. I'd just like to thank you guys for putting on these questions and putting on this forum, and your teacher and the rest of the staff, parents that do show up, and invite you kids to get involved in the process. And talk to, if you guys don't like the policy, that's one of the questions, bring it up to your teachers or the administration you guys can work on. So just thank you.
The U.S. government class would like to thank each of the candidates for coming this evening. We would like to thank the audience for caring about us as students to become informed on the candidate. And finally, we encourage the voters to vote in the election on next Tuesday, November 8th. If you have any further questions for the candidates, please feel free to come forward and ask the candidates at this time.
Thank you, guys.
Us fat, lazy Americans right here. Don't go there with me.
Oh,